We're here for the introduction to EarthRanger Mobile. I am Dan O'Neill. I'm the technical lead for the project. We brought some of the team here together. We have Leo and Gabby. Gabby's our QA lead, and Leo is one of the senior developers on the team. So welcome, everyone. And after this, I'll remind you that we'll hopefully have some time for Q&A, but if there's more questions, we're in the ranger station right afterwards. So we'll get started. I just want to go over what the agenda of what we'll cover today. I'm going to cover a little bit about logging into the app. There's a specific thing there that's important to as you log in, and we'll talk a little bit about the localization of the app. Then we're going to get into the three main things that the app is doing. One is device tracking. Two is sending in event reports. And then on top of the event reports, a value add, which allows you to create this new thing supported by the EarthRanger server called an area report. So we'll get into that. And then finally, we'll go through the future, like where we're at today, what you can install today, and what's coming in the near future toward a little bit of the long-term future. So I want to start with login. So I want to just do a quick thing. It's very basic login, as was mentioned in the plenary this morning by Jess. Everything's configured on the app and on the server, right? So if you know your server name, your site name, you log into that particular site name, you got a username and password, pretty straightforward. There's a remember me checkbox that allows you to log off, come back and remember everything that you've installed or put into those fields before. The important thing though is the device name, right? And so this is a combination app where we combine tracking with reporting. And so the device name is the subject that's going to be sent to the EarthRanger server that's going to represent the device itself. So when you log in, you put that device name here. You can edit it later in the app, so you can change device name, but it's important to note that when you log in, that device name is not the username, it's the subject name that's going to go to EarthRanger itself. Localization, so the app will start out with 5 locales to support. English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Swahili. And so most of the app is converted into these localizations, so everything that you can do in the app is localized. There are certain parts of the app that get rendered through the forms that are not localized, but the app itself is in those 5 locales. All right, so as I said, we're going to talk about the 3 big things that the app's doing, right? And the first one is device tracking. So with device tracking, we are doing what's real-time tracking when you're on the internet, when you have a connected state, right? So the app will follow that device name, send that device name up to the EarthRanger server, and what we try to do is aggressively clear any tracks off the app and off to the server. So when you're online, every time the device records a location point, it's going to send it to the server immediately. When you're offline, you don't lose the data, we persist the data, right? So we persist it in a database, and what we do is we queue that up for the next time that you are online. And when that happens, we'll send a batch, right? So we'll send in order of about 25 tracks, we'll send up to the server at that time. So again, the point that we're trying to do from the app's perspective is aggressively clear the database out, right? Clear the database of your tracks. Another thing to note is it has algorithms inside of it so that it keeps the pace of how you're moving with the device, right? So if you are walking, you will track at a certain rate. And if you're moving in a car, a vehicle, or riding a bike, we try to get about the same amount just at different speeds, right? So point is that we don't have a static amount distance through the tracking points. So we have states. So as I said, we support online and offline. So when the first state I'll talk about is tracking live. So when you're tracking live, that means the tracking is on, you've turned it on, you have an internet connection, and that, as I said earlier, every point is being uploaded to the server as it gets generated. While that's happening, you'll see your location at the bottom of the screen, the view, and you'll see when that last timestamp of that track point. There's a state called tracking on, right? So tracking on is a little different than tracking live. The fact is, when you're offline, you can continually track, but you don't have an internet connection, so we can't immediately send that track point to EarthRanger server. So that's where we're queuing the points into the database, and but we're continually tracking. So even if you stop tracking while you're offline, you haven't lost any of that data points. All those data are still in the database, and even if you don't start tracking again, as soon as you gain a connection, we will aggressively try to upload all those points, again in batches of 25 when you're offline. So again, you can stop tracking, you don't have to go back online, or excuse me, you don't have to turn tracking back on in order to upload those points. So recent tracks. So when you're on the EarthRanger servers, you'll notice that when you look at your subject, when you look at your device, and you look at your tracks, the server itself generates some track lines so you can see the direction of travel, right? Well, we're emulating the same thing on the mobile device. When you start moving, we'll create a track line as well. We'll put directional arrows on it so you get a sense of the direction you're going. These are temporary, right? These do not persist. These do not persist into the database. They're for your in-session tracking information, right? So once you upload the points, only the points get uploaded. And then when you turn it back on and you look at it at the EarthRanger server, you'll see those same tracks again, but that's getting generated on the server as well, right? So be aware of that. You can turn that on and off. So the screenshot right there has a tracking live modal in the upper right, potentially. There's a persist track switch there, so you can turn that on and off. You can either have that on or off. Now, once you stop tracking, and as opposed to before where you didn't lose your track points, you will lose your track line. So it's only in session while you're tracking. And with that, we're going to do our first demo today. To start with our tracking demos, I'm going to introduce Gabby and Leo and take it from here. Thank you.
Hi, guys. How's it going? I hope you have a great lunch. Those people in the back can hear me okay? If you can, scream, yeah. A little louder, yeah. Okay, now the people at the front, let's win to the people on the back. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Ooh, yes, the people on the front. You are my kind of people. So let's start with a little demonstration. First, I would like for you two guys to raise your hand if this is the first time that you are seeing or hearing about ER Mobile. Raise your hands as if this is the first time. Okay, you are into a great time, guys. This is a great application that we're going to show you, and we are going to do a complete live thing. So if it fails, it fails. We are like this, we are adventurous. So I feel like I'm giving like a debate. If you elect me president, we're going to do so many stuffs, guys. So I'm going to introduce you to my teammate, Leo. A big applause to Leo, please. Yay. So Leo is going to act like a ranger today. We have a walkie-talkie here. So, Leo, can you hear me? Okay, so you guys can see that it's completely live. So Leo has a cell phone. Show us your cell phone, Leo, please. It's an iPhone. Ooh, the latest model. Wow. So what Leo is going to do is that he's going to open the app and he's going to start walking around. And then when he comes back, we're going to be able to see that everything that Leo did offline, we will be able to upload it online. So it's going to be awesome. So Leo, please start walking. No internet connection. We don't like cheating. We're gonna be watching you. So while Leo walks around us, I'm going to show you a little bit of what you can do, but online. So I don't get to see the slide, so hopefully you will be able to see my device in about 10 seconds. Do you see a device there? Awesome. So let's get started, guys. So don't look at my password. So now you can see that we are like in the map screen. So you can see that there are trackings or there. Do you see that all right? Or do I make it bigger? Bigger is always better. Yes, bigger is always better, right, ladies? Woo! Forget I say that. Is here Jess? Jess, please, I didn't say that. Okay, so we see the map, and we see at the, I need both of my hands for this. Does it work? Yes, okay. So as you can see, guys, in the device, this is completely live, it's not cheating. This is the cable, this is the device. We are able to see on the screen that right over here at the top, it says tracking live, correct? Yes, okay. So if we select that model and we open it, we can see what's my username. What's my name? Gabrielle. What's my name? Gabrielle. So we can see that it says tracking live and syncing to EarthRanger. That means that every tracking point is uploading to the server at the moment. So every track that you guys see there, the orange line is already on the server. We're going to do the test in a moment. Do you see those arrows, the blue arrows? That indicates that what direction I was moving. So this is my tracking for the day. You can see that I start my day at the bar, as usual, of course, and you will be able to see how much time I spent in the bathroom, how much time I spent having breakfast. So this is my tracking for today. And as Dan was mentioning us, this also works offline. So if I go and put airplane mode, we will see that it changed, right? From tracking live, it moved to tracking on. That means that now if I start to move, my tracking will not be uploaded live to the server. It will remain locally on my device, and once I have an internet connection, it will try to upload all my tracking to the server. So if I go to here to the menu, and then to status, I see that track points pending sync is at 0 because I haven't moved. But if I wasn't as lazy as I am, I will start moving to create tracking points, and you will be able to see how this is going up. Like, bye, Leo, bye. Hope you're having a great time walking. So now that Leo comes back to us, we will be able to see that Leo at this screen, he will have more than 0 because he doesn't have an internet connection. The other screen that we can see here is settings. It let us know in what site are we doing all these tests. So you guys all have a different EarthRanger site. If you have an EarthRanger site, for our test, we're using Easter Island. My name, as always, Gabrielle, let's go. My device name is also Gabrielle, and this merge report categories is a surprise that we have for you guys when we start talking about reports. If we go to About, you will be able to see the private policy, the end user license agreement, and this is an awesome tool that will help us help you. So if you go to report an issue, you see the message and you see share logs from the past week. So every time you find a bug in our application, you will be able to send us a message, or if you have feedback on it. And you will be able to talk to support. No bugs, because there are no inexistent, because we're awesome, right? So, and if you find a bug, because I'm the quality assurance, you know who to blame. Dan, because he hired me, of course. So now if we go back to the map view, we can see that, I don't know if you guys can see this white square at the bottom. It says my location right now, the latitude and longitude. So if you were wondering, there it is. So now I'm going to back to Dan so he can continue talking about the reporting.
Turn me back on. All right, thank you, Gabby. That was tracking and a little bit more. The next thing we want to talk about, which is exciting, is reporting, right? So another thing we can do from the app besides track is we are combining that with the ability to be able to go out to the field, generate reports, and upload those to EarthRanger server as well. So the first thing you'll see in the app, we have a reports dashboard, right? And the reports dashboard shows you two main things, pending syncs and submitted this session. And we take pretty much the same approach with our reporting or uploading of reports as we do with our uploading of tracks. So we try to keep the pending syncs down to 0 and the submitted up this session as high as the amount of reports that you submit during that session. Now, what does a pending sync mean? A pending sync will involve the complete upload of, what will take a pending sync into submitted will be a complete upload of your report. And that includes attachments, which we'll get into in some future slides here. One other thing to note about submitted this session, what a session means is your logged in session, right? So as long as you stay logged in the app, you will, that number will keep increasing as you submit. Once you log out of the app, that will reset to 0, right? So that's your session. So another thing that the dashboard allows you to do is when you do reporting, we support it offline, right? We know that you're always not with a connection, like with the tracking or with the reporting. So in order to support that, we got to pull resources down from EarthRanger server, right? Because in order to generate a report, we need to know the form itself that you're trying to render. And we need to know things like what category it comes from, what event type that you're dealing with, potentially what kind of data you want to populate in some of the form fields, that sort of thing. So we have a database that keeps all that information, right? So when you log into the app, what it will do is go out to EarthRanger server and get all the resources that are assigned to that, to you as a user, right? But through the course of your existence with your administration, your organization, there can be updates to these things, right? You could have an updated schema for your report. You could have a new report. You could have a new type. You could have new choices, that sort of thing. So what you do at the dashboard right now is you do a swipe down gesture on the dashboard itself. And what that'll do is go check the server, see if there's anything new or old, and sync it with the local database, right? So before you go out into the field, you want to get the latest data, you'll swipe at the dashboard, you get your database populated, you go offline, you have all the latest data. Types. We actually have a couple of types now. One we'll talk about a little bit here, and another one will go into the next section. But we have two types of reports now. We have what's called a location report, and we have an area report. And the basic difference here is the geometric type. What you want to represent on the Earth with this report. So a location report is a point on the Earth, right? A single place, a lat and long. It's traditional. It's what, if you're familiar with the platform, it's what reports have been based on since the beginning. An area report is beyond just a single point location on Earth. It represents a shape, right? A polygon outside of, that represents the area for that report. So two types of reports to remember, location and area. So now that we have these types, we know where the dashboard is, we know what pending and submitted is, we know how to get the data. How do we create these reports? Creating reports can come in a couple of ways. As you see on the screen, there's that blue button above the find your location button. That's your add report button. You'll see that in a couple places. You'll see that when you're actively tracking, and you'll see that from the reports dashboard. And when you tap that button, you'll create a new report. You'll start the process to create a new report. And what it will do is it will get the device location automatically at that point, right? And it'll pass that through to the report in the case that you're creating a location type report. Another way we can create a report is while you're actively tracking, you can long press on the map to create a report that way. Now the difference here is where you long pressed on that map, that's the location that the app's going to take to send through to the report. So I'm here in Kenya, and if I had to do a report back at my home in North Bend, Washington, I could navigate the map to North Bend, long press on North Bend, create a report, and when I submit that report, the location of that report will not be here where the device is, it'll be in North Bend where I long pressed. So two ways to create reports, long pressing and that blue button. So let's talk about the types and how we get all that. So, right, so the next, once you've done that, once you've tapped, either long pressed or tapped your new, or once you've tapped your little blue button to start a new one, you're going to go into the generation of either your report categories that have been that you've downloaded from the EarthRanger server, and those have a list of types. Gabby mentioned when she went through some of the settings that there's a merge report categories, so you can also skip the categories and see all the event types in one view, right? We have search capability there, so you can search if you know the one you're looking for, you can search for it in that view. Once you've searched for or found your type and you've selected it, you get into the report form itself, and now you've actually created a report. So what does a report form do, right? What does it have? It has static maps, potentially for the location, whether it's an area map or a location map, or it could have an offline version of that map, or of that position, excuse me. It has the rendered fields, right? So everyone's familiar with the schemas and the JSON and how we create these report forms, and they get submitted. Well, our app takes that data, and we generate UI components from them. And those are field components, and then we'll render those components on the screen, right? And then the final thing you can have are attachments, right? So you can do notes or photos. And in the mobile app, you can create a photo attachment by taking a photo from the device, or you can, if you give the permission, you can allow the app to go into the gallery and select an existing photo. One thing to talk about with the rendered form fields, right? So our attempt is to render all types of form fields, right? But if we encounter something, a bad schema or an unsupported type or something like that, you will get an error screen indicating to you that something's wrong with the schema or we have an unsupported type in that form. Okay, so something to remember when you see that. And now let's talk about that location, right? So let's talk about it in the basis of points and shapes. So again, when you're doing the blue button and you're doing a device location or you're long pressing on the map, that is a position on the earth that's a lat long, right? You can, so it can either be remote or it can be the device location. When you're in the report form, if you're online, you'll get a static map with that location so you can get a reference as to where that location is. If you tap that static map, you can go ahead and edit your location, right? You can fine print it. If it's not exactly where the device is, maybe it's a corner lot of a building, what have you, you can make it exact. If you're offline, you'll get represented with a coordinate location of where that is. So you'll get a lat and long, and you'll get a little bit of a little compass icon. And what the compass icon represents is if that location is not your current location and you tap that, it will take you to your current location, right? Or you can go into either of the text fields and put any custom lat long that you have. So if you have a coordinate from a field note, you can add it there. And with that, we're going to do some exciting reporting demos, and I'll hand it back to our friend Gabby. Thank you.
Okay, so let's check with Leo. Let's see if he's dead. Hey, Leo. Hey, Ranger Leo. Are you alive? What was that? Was that a yes?
That a yes.
Awesome. So, Leo, if you're still offline, can you help us creating a report, please?
Sure.
And invasive species, please.
Okay.
So now, what we're going to do in our site is we're going to go to EarthRanger, and we're going to check the reports that are there in the server right now, if the internet let us. So let's see. Leo, if this is completely live, please in your notes attach a note that says Gabby is the best. Thank you. And a funny picture. So if we go to report at this moment and let it charge, we will see that the last report created here, it's a report called Wildlife Sightseeing. It was created 45 minutes ago and nothing else. So what Leo is dying outside, we're going to create it online. So now you should be able to see the device back on, right? Can you guys see my device?
Yes.
Thank you. So we're going back to the app. We're going to report. And you can see that it says pending sync 1 and submitted this session 1. That means that at some point of today, I created a report and I could upload it successfully. That's why it submitted this session is 1. If we can see in the pending sync, it says 1. That means that at some point I tried to create a report, but I didn't have any internet connection. So what my device is doing is saving it for me. It's there, just waiting to have an internet connection. So now we're gonna give it the internet connection and see what happens. So give me a second. I'm not used to iPhones. So there we go. We have internet connection now. So we're going to create a report. So as Dan said, there are different ways to create a report. The first thing that we're going to do is create it in the dashboard. So you see this blue button right here at the bottom. That's the button that we're going to tap now. We tap it, and then all our categories of our reports are going to be there. We're going to select security, why not? Now let's see that we were in our patrol and we saw an accident. So we're going to report that accident right now. So as we can see in the report, it has a map. So it let us know in what location is that report going to be created. So it says that we are in the Great Rift Valley Lodge. So are we good with that location? Yes. So we're going to now, if I don't want to create the report in this location, let's say that I saw the accident right over there, but I couldn't stop at that moment, what I can do is that I can tap in the map. That's what I'm going to do now, tapping in the map. And now it opens a new view that it says report location. So now what I can do is move around the map and it will follow me. So now I can create the report in any location that I want. Let's say that the accident actually happened at the lake. So now that I have my new location, I can click on the submit button, and now I will be able to see that my new location is the lake. But let's select another location, because it looks really blue. Let's select Canugo. Yeah, I like that. So now we select this, and we see in the map that it could take our location correctly again. So that's what we can do online. So now we fill out our form. Let's say type of accident, a car accident, number of people involved. There was too much. There was a bus, so there's 25 people. Animals involved, none. So now with our notes, we can open notes, and we're going to write a beautiful note saying Gaby is awesome as well. If it let us, because it's in Spanish. Gaby, it's awesome, or it's eso. Yeah, that works. So we have our note, and we can attach images of that report. So that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna open the camera. I'm going to allow access to all my photos, yes? And I'm gonna take a picture. So say, hi. There we go. So I'm gonna use this photo, and now it's attached to my report. What other thing that I can do is, instead of using my camera, I can also open the gallery and select a photo of my gallery. We're gonna do a boring photo now, and we're just going to select this one. And I can add it and attach it to my report. So let's say that that's the only thing that I want to do with my report right now. So I'm going to submit this report that, remember, it's accident, and it has a note that says, Gaby is acceso. We submit, and we go back to the reports dashboard. And if we can connect to the internet, we saw that pending sync went from 2 to 1. That meant that we could successfully submit a report. So now if we go back to the server, to the EarthRanger server, and refresh, we should see a report created called accident. Chan, 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 chan. Let's see. We need dramatic music. It didn't hurt. So let's see, let's wait, and ta-da! We could upload a report. A big applause, yes! So now if we open a report, we will be able to see all the information we just uploaded from the mobile app. We see that the type of accident was a car, animals involved none, number of people involved 25. We will be able to see our photos that we attach and everything else. That was when it's online. Now we're going to try to do the same, but when it's offline, to see the difference, because there are a couple of differences between the two. So now we're going to remove the connection to the internet, and we're going to create, again, another report. Now we're going to select ecology and invasive species. So now, as you can see, one of the main differences is that in this new screen, the map doesn't display because we are offline. But still, we can select that and we can change the location manually. So that's not a problem. And the rest of the report will be enabled offline. So that once you log in, all the information from the server is already locally to your device. So it doesn't matter if you have internet or not, you will be able to create the reports. So now we're gonna add another note. Hola. Attach it, and we're going to submit it. And it's going to stay there in pending sync until we give it internet connection again. And we're gonna give it now, but just to show you another way that you can create a report. This was from the report dashboard. Another report, we can create it from the map. We see here at the bottom this beautiful blue button that has a report. So you can create a report from there as well. So if you're already in the map and you don't want to go to the reports and do all the process that we just saw, you can just go directly from the map. Another way that you can create a report is directly from the map. Let's say that you receive a call and they say like, hey, in this location, this happened. Can you create it for me because we need it live and I don't have internet? Then we can do it for them. Let's say that they said like, oh, I'm in a beach in Mexico and something happened. So we're gonna go there. And we're gonna create the report here near the coast with our piña colada. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press really long. So I'm gonna tap here and it's going to long press. So it's going to create that report there. We're going to select security. We're going to select arrest now. And it seems like I don't have any internet connection now, but if I had internet connection, we will be able to see my new location in the coast of Mexico right over there. So that's what I can do with reports, and we will be able to see once Leo is back, all the reports that he's creating right now. And I think that's it for reports at the moment, so I will get back to that now.
Awesome, awesome. So we saw we can generate reports online and offline. Those are location reports. The next thing we want to talk about is a new feature that the EarthRanger server supports now and that the mobile client can submit, and that's called area reports. Right, so everything about the report's the same. The difference is instead of a point location, we can create an area, right? And that area can represent the location for that report. Now, the way you generate it on mobile is you go into, you generate your new area report, and you'll get presented with a start reporting button, right? Start adding a point. And once you do that, everything is done manually. So you either walk, ride, fly, whatever your mode of transportation is, but you physically go to the endpoints of the shape, right? And when you get to that endpoint of the shape, you add a point to your shape. And so as you're doing that, you're in a map view, and it will slowly start adding the different points that you are using to generate this shape. You don't have to close the shape. When you know that a polygon shape is the starting point and the ending point are going to be the same point. So when you don't have to go to that point again, you just hit the close area button. And once that's done, it will generate the polygon for you. And then, so one thing to note now, we don't support editing yet. We will in the future, but you can't. So once you generate this shape, that's it. It's finalized. The only way you can potentially update that is you could scratch that one and create another one if you needed to. All editing goes to the web. So when you submit this and you go to the web, you got great editing tools on the web, and you can edit to your heart's delight from the web. Yeah, so that's all for that, and I want to quickly go toward a demo of that. Ready, Gabby?
So let's bring back Leo before we forget him. Hey, Leo.
I'm tired now.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Can you come back, Leo, please? Let's not make him suffer anymore. So now Dan told us a little bit more of areas. So the reports that we saw just right now, they are location or point reports. Oops. So what the reports that we're now going to see are the area reports. So let's give a big applause to Leo because he walked a lot for us today. Thank you, Leo. So let's go back to the app. And now we go to reports. Let's try to give internet connection again, just in case. There we go. Now we're back in Track Live. Now we go to report. We create a new report. We go to monitoring, and we see that there's a new report called Polygon Test. So we're going to click on it, and we can see that the difference between now and the report location is that instead of a map, it gave us an option called Record Report Area. So now you click on it, and it's going to show you the map, where you're currently at, and if you're okay with your location, you can click on the button Start Recording. So we're going to start now, and we see that there's an orange beautiful point there. That's our first point. So now if we will start like walking, we will be able to tap Add Point, and it will create a line uniting those 2 points. So because I'm too lazy, I already did it, and I have it for you guys in my files. So let's go look for it. And it should be, oh, those are pictures from my sisters. So now she's a star as well. Let's go to, oh, Poppy. Oh, Poppy. Where are the videos here? Sorry, guys, this is not my phone, as you can see. Oh, here we go, yes. So now it's going to start playing. I did the same. I click Start Reporting, I start walking. I was going kind of fast, but at the same time slow. That's the maximum speed for me. So you can see that I was trying to walk, kind of, a little bit. And I tap Add Point. So a new point was created and a line was drawn. So I keep walking. I was actually running, but to not feel bad, let's say that I was walking. And I created another point at some point in life. I didn't like the location where I was at. There we go. And we can see that now we have 3 points. And at that point, I could close the area, and it gave me my area. So yay, area. So now, if we go back to the server, let's see where it was. Here we go. We can see that this is the polygon test that I created at that moment. Let's open it up. It says how much of an area it was and what was the perimeter. I click on it, and it lets me edit that area. And it gives us a message that says, this was created on EarthRanger ER Mobile. So we can edit that area as I want. So let's see, oh, it wasn't as correct as I wanted, or I wanted to walk a little bit more, not be as lazy. I can change it, and I can save it as well. But this was created from our mobile app. So now if we go back to the app, we can see, for instance, that right now, because I haven't moved to a new location, we have the close area button in enable. So if I click it, it doesn't close the area because we need a minimum of 3 points. So that's why I had the video from before. And we can do exactly the same thing that we did for the reports. I can attach note, I can attach images, and it will upload. And you guys can see that there's an icon right over here at the bottom that it's disabled, but that's a surprise for a little bit while. So now we're going to switch to Leo's iPhone. Leo, please. And see what Leo did while offline. Are you okay, Leo? Did we kill you by walking?
Yes.
It was hot?
Really hot.
Sorry. It's for the wall of the demo. So it looks like we need to install something to display Leo's iPhone. But for in the meantime, let's go back to Dan. Dan, please, it's all yours.
You're not going to be able to charge because there's only one.
Yes.
So just get the slides back.
There we go.
All right, thank you. We're low on power, so they're technically trying to help us out. Thank you for all that. We'll get back to some of those demos. So that's everything you've seen there is what's going to be available in the app right now, right? So we're doing device tracking, we're doing event reporting, we're doing it by location, and we're doing it by area. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about what's coming in the future. First thing we'll be doing is finalize some of that reporting that you're seeing. One thing we don't support right away is an area field type in the report. So we do support areas when it comes to like check boxes and things like that, but we don't support the repeatable field where you can have an area in your JSON and then you can have multiple field types. We're currently developing that right now, so that'll be a quick follow in a release coming up before the end of the year. The other thing we'll be doing is you'll be able to save drafts of those reports. So the reports we've been showing you today, there's a save draft button. When you tap that, you can save it, we'll persist that data, and you can come back and do it. One thing about reports, once you submit it, it's gone, right? It's at the server. The only way to edit it in the current rendition is on the server. So one way for you as a mobile user is to use save drafts to be able to edit that stuff. Those will be coming before the end of the year. As I said, you saw what you can do now, those quick follow-ups that are going to be released with the app. Looking forward toward next year, base maps and offline maps, right? So what do I mean by base maps? Being able to change between, right now you're seeing what's being provided to us as a street map, but being able to change to a satellite map or a topographic map or any other for different contexts, especially when you want to change locations and things like that and you want to get a little more accurate with it. Offline maps is we want to be able to take a lot of us work offline when we do field collection. We want to be able to take maps offline so we have the highest generated tiles available to us in those offline locations, right? So offline maps are coming. Enhanced sync, right? So right now we're syncing. I showed you a little bit about how we sync to the server. We need to do some updates on the server. This is the new mobile client. We need to start thinking about mobile client first. So we need to start thinking about syncing in a mobile way. So we'll get some updates on the back end that'll help us optimize the sync. Patrols, right? That's something that we want to do. The event reporting really sets us up so that we can start starting and stopping patrols in the mobile app. So that's something that will be coming soon. And then the last thing I'll talk about is what we're calling a wizard mode, but it's basically a quick collection way. So consider like when you're doing an event report and you can template drive it, right? So that you can one tap button and submit that report, right? So you don't have to go through all the all the workflows that we were just showing on the screen here. And then if you have some required fields, instead of being presented with the form, it'll give you sort of a wizard approach and say, hey, this required fields needs attention, give it to us. This required fields needs attention, give it to us. Once you've given it to us, automatically submit it. So those are the things that are coming. We're really excited about it. We hope you guys are too. Are we done anymore? Yes. Okay, so we have time for our final demo. I'll hand it back to Gabby. Thank you.
Thank you. So because everybody at this room right now, it's part of a very exclusive group that we call Cool People. We're going to demoing something that it's going into the future, but you guys get a little bit of a peek. So now, let's connect a new cell phone. Why do we need a new cell phone? Because this build that I'm going to show you guys is the developed build, not the production one. It's the, so let's see. Give me a moment to present to you guys this new cell phone. Hi. It looks like it doesn't want this new phone because it's an iPhone 8 and it refuses old stuff. It's like, no, I want the iPhone 14. I don't want the iPhone 8. Let's see. Let's give it one more try. Oh, no. We want to display cool things to cool people. Let's try one more time. I'm going to click all of this out. Let's try again. This is what happens when you give a demo live. Can you see my screen now? Yes, okay. Let's move on from this. I'm sorry, guys. If you go to the next session, we will display the new cool stuff. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is go back to the server. And Leo, do you give internet to your device? Yes, right?
Well, I'm gonna enable the internet connection.
So now, if I refresh the server, we're going to be able to see everything that Leo did while walking. And we will look for the report that we asked him to create. So let's see if it's this one that it's called invasive species. It's loading. The internet is letting us down today. So who knows jokes? No? Nobody? I spent all mines already. So let's start one more time. Let's see if, no, the internet doesn't want us today. It hates us. One more time. No, this is the one that I created. You don't have internet, Leo?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's give it one more try, Leo, and see if you get connectivity. In the meantime, let's go back to Dan.
All right, sorry about all that internet problems. All right, so we've shown you a lot today, hopefully. We've talked about a lot today. Let's talk about how we get the app itself, right? So we have them out on production right now. You can go get the Android app or the Apple app. You can scan that QR code if you want to go get it and you don't have it. We do have a beta program for early access type stuff. And our beta program is available. Right now you can contact myself or meet with anyone on the team. We'll get you set up with that. But the goal of the beta is, we've already done about a 6-month beta program with a lot of users. And so it's been sort of this closed beta. But now that we're out in production, we're opening up the beta. And what the beta will be is really just your cutting edge stuff. So we already have the Apple beta, the iPhone beta is available right now and to the public. You don't need to tell me, you don't need to tell anybody, you can just go get it. Android's gonna be coming out soon. So we'll have the production app, and what the beta will it will represent is the development mode of the app. So you can continue with us as we develop the app and see the new features coming. The thing that we tried to demo today that was on the development side, that'll be on the beta, right? So so that's where we're going with that. We want to be very aggressive with that. And that's all we had for today. I just want to go over what we covered from an agenda perspective. We went over that login. We talked about that device name and how important that is for tracking. We talked about device tracking as a feature. We talked about reports, area reports, as well as location reports. We went a little bit into some of the future, and now it's time for feedback if you have any questions or comments for us. And again, thank you for all your attention, and thank you to my demo dogs
Just
here.
before that, I will show you what Leo did, just so you don't call me a liar.
There you go.
We finally could get internet connection to Leo. So now we should be able to see everything that he did while offline. So you don't say, Gabby is a liar. No, I'm not. Here it is. We open it, and ta-da, we can see what Leo created with the note, Gabby is awesome. Yay! Thank you, Leo. So yeah, as Dan said, now it's your opportunity of any feedback or questions if you have it, if you have them, guys.
Thank you. Slide back up. All right, great. So I think we have, maybe a minute or two. Also, we're meeting in the ranger station right after this. So if we don't have time for questions right now and you do have some questions, the three of us will be there. Ask to your heart's delight. But do we have time for one or two?
Please, is it possible to load a shapefile of an area into the mobile ER mobile, as in my pack boundary?
Right. Not today. So you can't upload a shapefile today. But on that future tab, when I talked about offline maps, that will be one of our goals. We'll be able to take a shapefile or some form of GIS file and be able to get that to the mobile app. Good question.
Afternoon. So at the moment we're using CyberTracker to upload information to EarthRanger. This app is, so by using this app, is that going to be able to allow us to drop CyberTracker completely? With regards to, are there any features that this app won't have that we'll still have to use CyberTracker?
So the question is, will you be able to drop CyberTracker in favor of the EarthRanger mobile app, right?
Yep.
And that is our intention, yes. We're not in competition with any of the apps that contribute to EarthRanger. And we didn't want to make an app that just does what CyberTracker does. And so we wanted to add some value to what CyberTracker does. And so that's where area polygons come in. So to answer your question in short form, yes, the intention is that EarthRanger will cover everything that CyberTracker can do from an event reporting perspective and add value to it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. The current version we're working on now is a bit different to what's up there. When will the new version be released?
As soon as we're free from doing these presentations. So what you saw here today is in QA review right now and in review to be released into the App Store. So, yep, momentarily that'll be the production app.
I have a question. For how long, when somebody enters the information, when he was out of network, for how long will it take? Will it be erased if he's out of network for a long time?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different based on what you're trying to upload.
How long does it take to erase itself from the device? I think that's the question.
Okay, right. So how long does it take to remove itself from the device? Right. Okay. And these are reports, right? So yeah. So the workflow that goes on there, once the report is synced, and once it becomes into the submitted this session, right? Once it gets removed from submitted this session, it gets removed from the database. So and in order to do that is a log out. So that's the current workflow right now. When you log out of the device, it removes all submitted reports, right? And right now what it does is it removes all the report data and it unlinks all the attachments, right? So if you have photo attachments, they will not be removed from the device, but they will be unlinked in the database. And the reason for that is if you ever have an issue where you uploaded and you took 5 images and the mobile app said, hey, it's synced and all those images should be there, and for some reason on EarthRanger it says you have 4 images, right? We don't want you to lose that data. And so that data will persist on the device, but it will be unlinked. Does that answer your question? Yes.
Hi, I just want to find out, how does this link with like the EarthRanger patrol report? So for example, if you add in a patrol for Team Alpha and then Team Alpha's out and it's collecting non-sensitive data, then when they get back, how does that information, can it sync with your actual patrol that you've entered from your control room?
Let me make sure I understand that. So you're saying when you're doing a patrol, data from a patrol, right? A report from a patrol?
Yeah. So basically, if you have some security information that teams must either in-reach in or radio in or whatever they do, but then other reports that are not time sensitive, for example, alien invasive species, but when you get back, well, when they get back to base, that stuff that they've seen needs to link to the patrol that you've added on EarthRanger.
Right, that's done on the platform itself on the website, right? So that functionality is not on the mobile side yet, so that would have to be manually done on the web to do that link. So that's something we'll be working on the future when I talk about some of the patrol stuff. That linking will happen automatically on mobile, but that'll be a future state. All right, I appreciate all your attention. Thank you to Gabby and Leo. Look forward to meeting everyone in the conference, and have a great conference, and we'll talk to you soon.